Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a great pleasure to share with you my research. And what I would like to share with you in my talk is in particular a research conducted with the European Commission, the Informatics Department, where we applied artificial intelligence in the legislative drafting. We have identified the three main families where we can apply artificial intelligence in drafting in legislative context. First of all, the pure legal drafting, supporting the legal expert, improving the quality of the text, detecting some errors, inconsistency during the drafting. The second family, to support the decision stakeholders, decision system, and to take the information annotated and elaborate for some correlation. And finally, to detect some phenomena inside of the legal system as a whole, so as a complex network of norms. We have a lot of benefits using artificial intelligence, supporting drafting, help the consolidation to detect some other norms connected with during the consolidation, checking compliance to check if the norms are consistent, or to intercept dysfunctionalities inside the whole system, like too much abrogation or inconsistent exception that we assisted a lot during the COVID and pandemic period, monitor the drafting production if they are consistent with the policies like gender balancing or climate change, and also to offer some trends and prediction for taking better decision in the economy domain, and also to provide searchability, better searchability, and better user experience. Last but not least, artificial intelligence applied to the legal drafting can produce some additional knowledge that can be reusable in different other contexts, and provide also transparency, accuracy, and better communication with the citizens, so to improve participation in the democratic lawmaking system. But we have also critical issues. Not all the law is composed by simply rules, logic. We have many other principles, democratic, constitutional values. We need to take in consideration that the codification of the norms in the algorithms are evolving according to the society. So it is not the case to crystallize the norms in algorithm. We need to remind the fact that the artificial language programming are a subset of the natural language, especially the legal language. So we need to add on the top of codification with the algorithms interpretation. And also the fact that there's time to time vagueness in legal drafting terminology is not a mistake, but is intentionally included for maintaining flexible the interpretation of the norms. And another very important principle is the transparency of the algorithm in order to provide autonomy to the legislator and to understand what the artificial intelligence are proposing, and so to have the possibility to choice in any moment. We have some mistakes usually in the application of a pure machine learning, for instance. Time to time, we can see machine learning applied only to the text without any structure of the document, when we know perfectly the structure of the document includes also legal tradition, or the context like jurisdiction or temporal parameter, and also the dynamic citation, so the evolution of the norms over time. So Article 3 depends in the content in which period we are talking about, and machine can understand, obviously, simply from the Article 3 what we are talking about under the semantics. So we need to take in consideration all these. For this reason, in our team, we apply the so-called hybrid AI for legal domain, that is a mix of different components, starting from LegalXML document annotation, in order to respect the legal tradition and the legal work made by the legislator. And on the top of these, we can put also artificial intelligence and data-driven analytics, but in any case, also integrated with the semantic meaning of the legal terminologies. Also, the workflow is super important. Another frequent mistake is to apply artificial intelligence with single document as a highland. It's not. A document, a legislative document is definitely a part of a long journey and the workflow. So we need to take into consideration all the history and the workflow of the document. And for doing that, we use a Commentoso, and that is an open standard XML for annotating the text in order to make everything transparent and open box. So not in a black box that time to time artificial intelligence can produce. This is our methodology. So we convert, first of all, our document collection in a Commentoso, also in a very rough way. And then we put on the top all the artificial intelligence system in order to extract available information like metadata or semantics or particularly classification of the content, and we return these to the legal expert in order to have a confirmation of these detection. And in case of confirmation, we transform the confirmation inside again of the Commentoso for offer these to all the communities as an interoperable instrument for the democratic process. We have developed 4 use cases with the European Commission. We can see the results of the visualization. The first here is the clustering of the core agenda in order to detect the patterns of the mistake happened during the publication of the Gazette, and so to detect previously in case during the drafting. Another use case is the calculation of the index of compliance with a policy. In this case, the policy monitored was the use of the language for the digital transformation. So you can see legislations that are not very in line with digital transformation, and the other mostly in line. And the other use case was to detect the correspondence, similarity between the European directive in one side and the implementation in Italy, member state of this directive, in order to see if Italy is implementing well the directive. And finally, the derogation. The derogation, we created this map of derogation. What is a derogation? Derogation is an exception of a norm that exists already. So we assisted during COVID, the pandemic period, a lot of derogation, the prohibition to travel, prohibition to do something in special regions or for given periods. So we are very familiar with the derogation nowadays, and derogation is a very important and sensitive part of the legal system. And legislators need to know which norms are derogated for do a better regulation in the future. So using artificial intelligence plus a Commentoso, on the top of a Commentoso, we have detected the anatomy parts of the derogation, the destination, the jurisdiction, the temporal parameters, and the scope. And then we have created a map, so-called the network analysis visualization. And you can see the bubble are the norms, the law, and around the little bubbles means the derogated act or income or outcome. So we can calculate how much derogations a act, a law receive. And I can also filter for parameters. So a lawyer or legislator, a judge can use this dashboard for understanding the main norm and the derogations affecting this norm, and also to limit the period of validity of this derogation. This kind of information are provided also in a commentoso, because another important issue is to have a common annotation reusable for many purposes. Thank you so much. And conclusion, so hybrid AI mitigates risk coming from the black box of artificial intelligence, especially in the legal domain, is super important for maintaining the democratic principle. LegalXML is an open standard that can help a lot for transparency, and also to help the explainable AI, so to explain to the legislator what's happening in the back by the artificial intelligence algorithm. And finally, we take also in care a lot the visualization for a better communication and this understandability of what we have extracted using artificial intelligence. Thank you so much, and I'm now available for the questions.